So Jordan had a few shifting faults earlier with the car, the GTI here, going into limp mode. So going into limp mode to protect itself from further damage or more catastrophic damage. So being a DSG, we know that the Mechatronics faults are not common, but they do happen and they do occur. And whether the fault is actually a mech problem or a, what would you call it, a sensor problem or whatever else can be going on in the box, is really hard to sort of diagnose. So I haven't seen many people attempt this yet, but what we're going to try and do is fix this DSG and hope that it's actually a speed and temperature sensor. So I haven't really mucked around with this too much. ECU2, so enter that. You can test the component apparently. So this is just a cheap Tool Pro what do you call it, scanner, which has done the job for us actually. Being a European car, usually hard to get scanners to work. Okay, the vehicle has no fault code at the moment, but I have taken a photo, so we've cleared it obviously to get Jordan home, but I've got a photo which I will stick in the thingo here. And bloody, we'll get started. So fault's cleared. What we're going to do now, obviously pull the key out of the ignition. We're going to take the battery off so that there's no power, so that we limit the potential of damage to any units, ECUs, electrical control units, sorry, and TCM. So this is all going to come out. Intake, possibly the front bumper, the radiator support, so that means the headlights will probably come out too. And then yeah, we'll get onto removing that big black box there, which houses the Mechatronics unit, which is the computer that controls the dual clutch system for the manual gearbox, because that's exactly what it is. It's a manual gearbox controlled electronically using 2 clutches. Supercar technology in a hatchback. First of all, this is to drain the DSG plug. So this is the sump plug for the DSG gearbox. Now there is another gearbox plug again, so this will be the level plug, which I will pull out and show you. And it's actually usually an 8mm hex key, which I'll pull out and show you, but you can use a pair of pliers hopefully, depending on, you know, how stuck it is. It shouldn't be too tight because it's only plastic and it's only there for the level. But anyway, hex key to drain the fluid. Here's the culprit that we believe is the problem. So judging by that fault code we saw earlier, we believe it's this culprit here. So this is a temperature and input shaft speed sensor, and over time, over the course of a week, it started failing. Now there's a lot of things that can go wrong with this. You can get fucking debris, metal debris, sticking to the actual magnetic hall sensor itself, but you know, including this temperature sensor. Who knows what's going on? We'll see it when we pull it apart. I believe this is the culprit. We're not sure yet, but we'll find out. This is what the fault code points to, but yes, it's genuine. So here's the part number if you seek to replace it. So you can genuine part, but yeah, most people I've seen when they get this fault, they replace the Mechatronics unit. But we're going to start with a sensor because that's definitely a cheaper option, and of course the pan seal for the actual Mechatronics housing. So there's no use in changing the oil, obviously replacing the oil, pulling the Mechatronics out, replacing the sensor, and all of a sudden she pisses out oil and blows up down the road. So we've got to seal it and make sure it actually doesn't leak on us. KO4 turbo. That's crazy. I didn't think that'd ever come down. Yeah, that's rare as fuck. I actually like them because the yellow one suits the seats. You know, I'm going to show you the so there is no filler plug in these gearboxes. Still clean. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So clutches are good.
So
it's
it will
crystal.
Be black. It'll be black when my clutches are far.
Yeah, if it was black, that's clutch material in the actual fluid itself. So just like a normal clutch they wear, but the fact is these are wet clutches, so it ends up in the fluid. It's crystal clean. So there's nothing that's, well, as far as we're aware, there's nothing wrong with the clutches. Just the mech. There we go. Now this is expensive fluid, so we're gonna try and not waste any of it. It's also, this fluid's also about, how old is it, Bill? 20,000 kilometers, I think. So we do DSGs every 60. But it's bloody expensive shit, so we're not really looking at buying a whole new bit of DSG. Oh shit, that should be right. So once that's finished draining, have you got a rag, brother? Once this is finished draining, I'll show you the filler plug, which is just a plastic extension on the plug itself, and that's what enables you to see the gearbox reach its desired level. Anyway,
Yeah, not shifting.
I'm going to try and find that plug.
Yeah, not knowing where it's shifting.
Yeah, it needs to know where, well, exactly, it needs to know where the input and output shaft is, to know where it wants to, which gear to be in and when to engage the clutch. So here we go, this is your level. This is the plug that goes inside there. So it's obviously just threaded. You don't need to do this up tight, and it shouldn't be tight to begin with. So basically you'll unscrew this and then it'll drain the rest of the fluid out. Once you're done, you flip this back in so you don't forget. And then this should reach the desired 5.5 litres that the gearbox needs to run. So there is no filler plug. You have to fill the gearbox back through this fucking thing here, which means we're going to have to probably get a Tom Thumb and push up the bloody hose up to here and then fill it up that way. But we'll see.
So we could have done a DSG service here.
Yeah, we can. We probably will from now on. So our mech is inside here, and our sensors behind the Mechatronic unit. So we've got T30s all the way around here, as you can see, torque spits. But we need to pull this pan off. So obviously we're going to need to remove this intercooler pipe. So while we're here, we're going to be able to check the amount of oil that's going to be in the intercooler itself. Usually this drips, and because they come with a PCV, a positive crankcase pressure ventilation valve, which is up here, which is supposed to work as an oil separator as well, basically feeding the oil back into the intake system and burning it up. But I prefer catch cans, to be honest. The engine is designed to burn a little bit, but yeah, anyway, we're going to pull this off, pull this pipe out to get more access to this unit here, and then we're going to have to remove these plugs. There's a few 10 mils for that bracket, and hopefully with that out of the way, we might not need to move the entire bumper forward. But if worse comes to worse, these Volkswagens are designed to go into a service position, is what they call it, which means they're designed so that the bumper can come forward pretty easily. Anyway, now that the fluid's out, we're going to get started on removing these bits and pieces. Hopefully, most of the access I was hoping could be done through the top when I remove the intake and everything. But yeah, we'll see. So usually, I don't know if you can see it. Oh shit! I don't know if you can see it, but see, there's a little bit. I don't know. There's a little bit of shine there, so that means there's a little bit of fluid. But by looking in the pins, there's nowhere near looking. I would not call that a leak. But when these do fill with oil, and they do, you'll usually see it in the conduit here as well, and that will indicate that the oil's leaking through the pins. But what I would think is that that would be an overpressurizing issue in the gearbox itself or the Mechatronics unit. So there's something else probably going on. But this is clean, so I'm not worried about that. This is a good sign for this gearbox. And I'm wiping that off. It's not even oily, so that could be something else altogether. Could even be dielectric grease. But yeah, we'll let this go and then leave that aside for now. Alright, so I'm just going to finish it now at that with the transmission pan in place. So just got I just got 5 of these Torx bits, so T30s there that I've got to remove. And then there's obviously a transmission gasket, just a rubber gasket. I'll probably clean all this debris out of the way so nothing falls into the transmission Mechatronics unit, which is under there. That's the computer. And you can see there's a lot of dirt and shit here that we got to keep clear of there. So I'll do this tomorrow when I have more light. Everything's clear now that I've removed the intake pipe. But more access from the underneath, so that should be enough space, hopefully, and I shouldn't have to pull the front bumper forward or the radiator support, which is probably going to add, you know, an hour or two just to the job. So we don't have to do that, we're saving time. Yeah, we'll leave it at there tonight. Luna probably wants to get out and go for a walk, clean up, and then get back to it in the morning. My life is like a movie, something like Tarantino. Right now I'm in a Diddy, dreaming of a Lamborghini. I taste that bag, that moolah, on my conscience is judo. Before you put on this record, We should bring the rods here. Look at all those fish. I did not bring the rods. Look at them, they're jumping. And that's not mullet. What is that? Oh, let's go look. Oh, that's it. Don't jump in the water, please, because you're going to get in the car. Look, there's fishes. Look, they're all jumping. What do you reckon they are, Luna? A sneeze, apparently. Oh shit, we did not bring the rod. No, Luna, Luna! No! Oh shit, no. Bloody sand in the car, I just cleaned it. Oh crap, that's my fault anyway. Oh, I just wanted to see the fish. Well, shit. And that will conclude our little bribey cruise for today anyway. Might come back tomorrow.